Here are 6 SaaS ideas that will absolutely change the game in 2023. These are my best ideas. If I was starting a company today, here's what I would suggest you do. Recently, I was coaching my Growth Accelerator clients, which is kind of like earlier stage software as a service founders. And somebody asked me on a coaching call, if you were starting over today and you were building a new company from scratch, what would you focus on? And I shared with them these 6 categories, these 6 areas. Let's get into it. Number 1 is AI-supported marketing tools. Here's the thing. If you have not seen the crazy amount of coverage around things like ChatGPT and Jasper and many other AI marketing tools out there, I don't know what rock you've been behind of, or maybe you didn't even know that these things are happening, but go Google AI marketing tools, specifically ChatGPT. 3.5 came out, 4 is rumored to come out soon, and it is an absolute game changer. Why? Well, it does a lot. I can literally, from a marketing point of view, say, hey, outline 15 videos to help SaaS companies grow their business. You can even ask it to say, put a social media marketing brief together for a business that sells to B2B SaaS founders, and it will literally write the marketing brief for you. Then you ask it each part of that brief, from like, you should do this on video and this on TikTok and this on wherever, content blog posts. You can say, okay, now write me the blog post and come up with title ideas, and it'll give you a bunch of them. And then you say, write the blog post. It'll write the blog post. Then you say, write the email that you're going to send to the list, and it'll write the email. Then you say, create the ad or create the Facebook post for the video that I shot with the title, and it'll create the post in Facebook. And then you can say, create an ad, and then it'll create an ad. And then you say, create the description on TikTok, and then it'll do that all for you for free. And that is just one tool. Here's what I know is the future of AI supported marketing is just going to be part of our landscape. And every marketing team will be using a tool in this space. It's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity available. You just need to pull on the string and see what you can piece together. Number 2, cybersecurity. As the internet continues to expand and more parts of the world get added through satellite internet, and literally the online population of people that have internet access continues to expand, it's just going to be a bigger and bigger issue to deal with cybersecurity. It's everything from, just weak passwords all the way to social engineering and attacks specifically on companies. So I share this because there's going to be opportunities where you can build technology, maybe browser plugins or hooks into a firewall or into the VPNs or whatever it is, to monitor for the social engineering attacks, right? To make sure that you're giving tools to your team members, maybe in a distributed fashion, because there's so many remote workers now, where they're asking them to go through a checklist. I mean, this is crazy. I go out in public and I see people with smartphones and they have no passphrase on there. It's not just Face ID. It's like literally you can get on their phone, open it up, and if you can get access to somebody's inbox, their email, you've got access to everything because you can reset every one of their passwords. So what people do is they get on your mobile device, they'll reset your password for your email, then you're locked out of your email, and then they just start working through all the different applications. They just search your inbox for all the different notifications. They know which banking you do, what telcos you use, etc., and they just start working through resetting all these online logins. Somebody's going to build a tool that's going to help these distributed teams protect their team from themselves, from phishing attempts and cybersecurity attacks. I mean, it could be penetration testing software or others for small businesses. There is a huge market here. If you have a security bent and you want to get into SaaS, try to find the opportunity in this space because it is yours to have. Number 3 is AI-supported customer support. Now I know, is this whole thing going to be about AI? Yeah, I really think it's kind of like, you have a database for your software product, you use AI. Like, it's just going to be part of what you do. So all the new innovation is going to have artificial intelligence built in. The good news is there's a good chance you don't have to actually build the core technology. You just have to understand what's out there and available. I mean, There are libraries available that you can plug in vast amount of data into these learning models, these chat models, so that it can get smarter, 100% specific to your use case. So what do I mean by that? Is in the future, right now, companies are getting emails from their customers about the software, about features, about whatever. And they've responded to those customers, answering their questions, and they have a feedback loop knowing if the question was good by the customer rating it a good answer, right? Like on all the customer support software, like the help desk or the help center online, there's like, you search for your question, you have an answer, and then you hit the button that goes, yeah, that answered my question. So they have all this data that if you plugged in a chat software with all this data and your software ingested it, fed it to the AI, and then you created a custom bot just for that company that knew all the context and scraped all the internal emails and like inferred all the answers based on the questions that are being asked of it, it could probably do 95% of what customer support teams are doing today. That's the reality. When you see how powerful it is right now, just training itself off of public data on the internet, and you think, okay, well, if it can do that, and then somebody came along and built a tool that ingested all of my internal communication with customers and feedback from all these different tools on top of my support software, it doesn't take a big imaginational leap to see how that can now be automated through AI. That, I think, is low-hanging fruit, and there's going to be different ways to attack that problem. And you could build a beachhead and get a toehold and a wedge in the market, and then eventually build the next generation of customer support software using AI as the core foundation to differentiate yourself today in the market. Number 4, connected sensors. Okay, some people call it the IoT plus SaaS, Internet of Things. Here's the reality. The amount of hardware, sensors being deployed in your home, in businesses across the world has gone like 2-3x every year. It is on this exponential curve because the chips keep getting cheaper to make. And like, we're talking like deep connectivity, deep sensors, right? Like everything from like Wi-Fi to, full-time always on. I mean, cars are coming now with like software updates that are being done overnight. So like all of these devices are connected, and there's going to be required a management layer of software to manage all of these devices. One of my favorite stories is one of my clients, Mark. He has a software. It's like a hardware, right? It's a sensor that sits inside of an ATM machine, and essentially originally started as a hardware tool to like protect the ATM machine from theft, right? So like it was connected through the telco companies so that they had GPS location. So if somebody stole the machine, the person wouldn't know that it had tracking, and they would find the person, they'd arrest the person, get the machine back. Now that same hardware is connected to the whole device, and it does a whole lot more than just a security protection thing. It will tell you about cash flows. It'll tell you about cash in the machine. It allows the customers that might own 150 of these ATM machines to like do automatic routing for the cash truck that's going around filling up these ATM machines. It'll let them know if there's problems with the hardware, if it's running slow, if there's customer service problems. Literally, it creates a whole level of insights on top of this sensor, this hardware. And that concept is going to be applied to all of these IoT devices, all of these hardware devices that are being put out there, all these sensors. So if you want to build something that's incredibly sticky, incredibly valuable, that customers don't mind paying for, is build the tooling, the insights, the data, the tracking, the management system for these hardware devices, these sensors that are being installed all over the place. Or you might have to come up with your own sensor, but then build a subscription software component so you have that reoccurring revenue. That is a huge trend that I think that if you just went to some of these events with the IoT sensors to figure out what they're actually measuring, you would quickly see where there's software management platforms that could be built to manage these and follow their growth trend by building your platform on top of it. And like they say, high tides rise all boats. Number 5 is SaaS for digital twins. Here's what a digital twin is. A long time ago, I was asking one of my mentors, a long time as in like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, Ken, what's the trend line for technology? Where do you think we're at today? And what do you think the future, like what's not too early, but absolutely going to be the future? And he just replied, digital twinning. And I was like, okay. At the time, I'd never heard this term. So I go online, search, and learn all about digital twin. Essentially, it's taking anything that would be a physical hardware, some kind of physical device in the world, and have a digital representation of it. Why would you do this? Well, a bunch of reasons. For example, if I'm designing a new tractor and I wanted to release it in the market, or an airplane, or any kind of like heavy equipment, there's a whole training and certification component that comes along with that equipment. Now, if I got to wait until the equipment's available in the customer's hand to then train them, that takes time. Whereas what they do now is they'll take that hardware, right, that they've designed, the CAD files, they'll digital twin it into a physics compliant virtual world device, and then they will use that virtual game, that simulator, to retrain all the people that are using a previous generation of that technology, so that you can train people at the exact same time that you're building and you're rolling out the hardware. So you can have an assembly line of tractors, of heavy equipment coming out, being built, being shipped to customers. And by the time it shows up, boom, the person is trained. The other aspect of digital twinning is you can actually use sensors or like laser scanners to digitally twin a physical building, a space. You know, I invested in a drone technology that literally has these drones that automatically go into plants and scan, because a lot of these plants that were built 30, 40, 50 years ago, they don't even know how accurate any of the piping is or the schematics, because there's been upgrades over the years and things to improve stuff. So literally this drone company built the software that scans in, and it knows how to navigate the real world, goes into the plant, scans all the pipes, and then takes that 3D drawing and builds a digital twin of that building, so that, you know, the maintenance team can look at it through a completely different lens and try to assess, like, okay, what are we dealing with here, right? Way faster than doing it manual and having to have somebody like redesign these buildings in a CAD file. That's just the beginning. So building software as a service to provide infrastructure, workflow, analysis of the digital twins, the management of it, and just getting into that space. Like, you're literally at the beginning of a completely new segment of technology that is growing, that you just, if you're in it, you will be successful. So be sure to check out some of the printers, the 3D and 4D printers, and just the technology available in this space. The best way to do that is just go to the conference. Go to the #1 conference where digital twinning is the topic du jour. Go there, talk to the vendors, and figure out where's the hook, where's the opportunity to enter the market. Number 6 is no-code platforms. Now, here's the crazy part. If you've never heard of Bubble or many of these other no-code platforms, let me just tell you, there is software and companies being built that have been configured on top of these no-code platforms that are making millions of dollars per month. You do not need to know how to write code anymore. You need to have insight into the customer's problem, and then awareness of what the tool can do and what APIs are available, or integrations or templates, so that you can configure all this incredibly easy and build and deploy your software ASAP. Like, literally, you can go from idea to working software in the customer's hands within weeks. You know, I actually have a friend, Chance. He's built a whole business serving small business lead generation, workflow, CRM, automation, all on top of another platform, okay, that he didn't build, that is a no-code platform. And people pay him hundreds of dollars per month to use this platform to manage their marketing and automation. But he didn't write the code. He doesn't maintain the code base. The customers that are using it don't even know. They think it's his software, and it was all built on top of no code. So this is kind of like a weird gray zone, because some of you guys are like, well, do I build a no code platform? Look, if that's the way you want to do it, like my buddy Sean at Go High Level, he's built an incredible business that on the surface people think is a CRM software, but the way he built his API and the way he created his templating features, I mean, literally there are thousands and thousands of people that use his platform for their customers and nobody knows about Go High Level. Like, it is their own platform. There's clients inside of SaaS Academy that have built incredibly successful businesses using no-code platforms on top of Sean's technology to just solve customers' problems, right? Like, at the end of the day, customers like, I have a problem, I need a solution. To me, I don't care how it was built. It doesn't matter to me. So you can actually either use an existing one, if not, like, double click. There's literally 14 plus different vendors that they have their pros and cons. And if you feel ambitious, then maybe build your own, but it is definitely the future. I mean, even things like Airtable, if you haven't checked out Airtable, we use it. I mean, it is a no-code platform for business tooling that allows you to build full-on applications in the web without knowing how to write any code whatsoever. That is a huge trend in SaaS. So I wanted to share these 6 core areas for you to get creative in your mind and look at it and say, okay, well, I think cybersecurity is interesting, or marketing is interesting, or customer support, or digital twinning, whatever it is for you. Pick the one that resonates with your soul, your heart, that you're like, man, I could spend the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years dedicated to this, and go all in. Become obsessed. Allow yourself to just learn everything you possibly can. Build the network, build the relationships, go to the events, read the blog posts, subscribe to the top podcast, just bathe in the knowledge of that industry and that sector, and look for the opportunities to build your breakout SaaS in 2023. That is my hope. That is my desire. And that's why I shared all those different options. Those are the areas that I'm investing in. And hopefully I see your idea out there in the wild and the opportunity to partner with you. That would be incredible. If you're interested in that, leave a comment below. Let me know that you're doing something in this space. I'll make sure my team sees that. Just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.